Adequate notice of this meeting was provided and published in the Asbury Park Press and the Ocean Star on January 17, 2025. Copies of the agenda were provided to the newspaper, posted on public bulletin boards and the Township website.
Madam Clerk, can we have a roll call?
Councilman Albanese.
Here.
Councilwoman Pontoriero.
Here.
Councilwoman DeYoung.
Here.
Councilman Feinman.
Here.
Councilwoman Travers. Vice President Minikino.
Here.
President Ambrosino.
Here.
Thank you.
I'd like to ask everybody to rise for a salute to the flag, Pledge of Allegiance, and a moment of silence. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please be seated. Is there a motion and a second for the minutes from the March 25th meeting?
Motion. Second.
Roll call.
Councilman Albanese.
Yes.
Councilwoman Pontoriero.
Yes.
Councilwoman DeYoung.
Yes.
Councilman Feinman.
Yes.
Vice President Minikino.
Yes.
President Ambrosino.
Yes.
Thank you.
We have a presentation this evening. Mayor Crate is going to be a couple of minutes late, so I will invite Council President Derek Ambrosino to the podium to speak to the presentation. I'd like to invite Colleen Van Ripper up to the podium as well. Van Riper, thank you. I stand corrected. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
It's National Library Week this week, so we've prepared a proclamation to recognize that. I'd like to read from that here and then give Colleen a couple of moments to speak on behalf of National Library Week. So whereas libraries spark creativity, fuel imagination, inspire lifelong learning, and offer a space where individuals of all ages can explore new ideas and new possibilities. And libraries serve as a vibrant community hub connecting people with knowledge, technology, and resources while fostering civic engagement and critical thinking. Libraries provide free and equitable access to books, digital tools, and innovation programming, ensuring that all individuals, regardless of their background, have the support they need to learn, connect, and thrive. Libraries partner with schools, businesses, and organizations, connecting the dots to maximize resources, increase efficiency, and expand access to essential services, strengthening the entire community. Libraries play a critical role in the economic development by providing resources and support for job seekers, small businesses, and entrepreneurs alike, thus contributing to the local prosperity. Libraries nurture young minds through story times, STEAM programs, and literacy initiatives while protecting the rights to explore without censorship. And our community is fortunate to be home to the Brick branch of the Ocean County Library with a dedicated staff who provide welcoming spaces that inspire and are continually expanding their resources to adapt to our changing world to meet the needs of patrons. And libraries, librarians, library workers, and our own Friends of the Library will be celebrating National Library Week with its theme, Drawn to the Library. So now, therefore, I, on behalf of Mayor Lisa Crate, Council President Derek Ambrosino, in the County of Ocean, the state of New Jersey, do hereby proclaim the week of April 6th through April 12th of 2025 to be National Library Week in the Township of Brick. And I encourage all residents to visit our libraries. My family does so extensively. Explore its resources and celebrate all the ways that the library draws us together as a community. Congratulations.
I won't take up much time because the proclamation really does say it all. We're not just books. We're really here for the community. Anybody can come in at any time for anything they need if they have no other safe space. Children come in for story time. Teens volunteer there, and then that leads them to having careers or go to school. We're really just so much more than what it appears. And at a time where libraries don't seem to be valued as much, I think that we are still valued here in Brick. So I really appreciate you guys for that. And I just want to remind you, we are a county system, so you can go to any of our 21 counties. We all work together, but we just happen to be the best branch in the system.
you so much.
Congratulations, Colleen. Thank you. Okay, moving forward with our agenda, there are a couple of budget presentations this evening. I'd first like to invite the police department up to see a presentation by David Forrester, Chief David Forrester.
Good evening. I'm pleased to present the 2025 budget for the Department of Public Safety. Our mission is vital, protecting the safety and well-being of every member of our community. Our department plays a crucial role in delivering essential services, including police operations, communication services, Class 1 special law enforcement officers, emergency management, crossing guards, and impactful community-focused programs like police cadets, the DARE initiative, Not Even Once program, Community Emergency Response Team, and Neighborhood Watch. Our greatest asset is our dedicated team of 228 employees. We have 146 sworn officers, 24 full-time and 2 part-time communication operators, 17 crossing guards, 19 Class 1 special police officers, 1 civilian deputy emergency management coordinator, 1 radio technician, 1 fleet maintenance worker, 17 full-time and 5 part-time civilian staff staffed in police records and administrative functions. Together, this team handled 103,369 calls for service in 2024, an impressive 6,937 call increase over the prior year. This achievement reflects the hard work and commitment of our staff during the busiest year in the department's history. I am pleased with our 2024 operating results. Since becoming chief in 2023, I worked with department leaders and have implemented organizational changes that better allocated our resources to keep costs down. In the past 2 years, total police expenses were $2,192,644 under budget, all while our department answered 8,500 more calls for service. These outcomes highlight our ability to do more with less, an achievement we are proud of. We are a busy police department filled with employees dedicated to Brick Township. Let's now review the budget and highlight significant changes. The first area we will discuss is the main police budget. The salaries of our civilian and administrative personnel are also included in this line item. This year, we are requesting $23,950,400 for regular salaries and $1,150,000 for overtime. In 2024, we budgeted $22,420,000 and spent $21,932,566 on regular salaries, and budgeted $1,150,000 and spent $1,009,000 on overtime. In total, salaries and overtime were $628,227 under budget, reflecting a 12% savings in overtime. Although I do not anticipate a significant increase in overtime spending this year, I need to plan for unforeseen situations. The police supervision and command staff will continue to be conscientious of the need to reduce and keep overtime costs under budget. For the past 2 years, I am happy to report that we have managed to keep overtime costs 16% under budget and remained $1.6 million under budget in salaries and overtime. We will look to continue that practice for years to come. The police general operating budget includes uniforms, firearms equipment, training, accreditation, cadets, boat and bike equipment, and radio repair expenses. In 2024, we expended $309,690, $5,459 under budget. This year, we are asking for $330,850, an increase of $15,700 from what we budgeted last year to address rising costs for critical items such as ammunition, radio system and infrastructure, and service plans, bulletproof vests with outer carriers, and cameras throughout the town. The next area is Class 1 Special Law Enforcement Officers. We currently have 19 Class 1 Special Officers who perform year-round parking enforcement, traffic details, booking officers, municipal court security officers, and security for in-person township meetings such as the Board of Adjustment, Planning Board, and council meetings. In 2025, we are requesting $345,000 in salaries, which is $22,948 more dollars than we spent in 2024, and $12,000 in overtime. This additional expense will cover the cost of training new officers. One other line item in the Class 1 Special Law Enforcement Officers budget is for uniforms and equipment. In 2025, we are requesting $10,500 in anticipation of hiring additional officers, bringing us to a full complement of 25. The next area we will discuss is the communication operators, dispatchers. It should be noted that last year we expended $164,000 less in salaries and overtime costs than what we budgeted for. This year we are requesting $1,920,000 for salaries in anticipation of hiring additional dispatchers and allocating $220,000 for overtime. For operating expenses, which mainly covers training costs, which we are asking for $6,100, which remains consistent with 2024. The next budget is emergency management. Last year, we budgeted $67,100 for OEM salaries. This year, we will be allocating $71,000. It should be noted that a portion of the salary is paid for by grant monies, which are received at different times throughout the year. We will be allocating $500 for the OEM overtime budget. The only other item in the OEM budget is $500 for training, which will remain the same as it was in 2024. The next budget is police vehicles. These monies are used to replace aging vehicles which are used by the patrol division. In most cases, the older patrol vehicles, which are still serviceable, are repurposed in non-patrol units within the department. In 2024, we budgeted $425,750 and spent $424,500. For 2025, the requested amount is $428,250. Lastly, I will discuss crossing guards. Last year, we budgeted $557,000 in crossing guard salaries and spent $510,500, which is $47,000 under budget. In 2025, we are asking for $520,000 to be budgeted for salaries and $5,000 for overtime, which remains the same as it was in 2024. It should be noted that during the summer months, there are approximately 30 seasonal crossing guards employed. For the operating budget, we are asking for $13,200 for uniforms and safety equipment such as traffic vests, jackets, lighted batons, and cones. In closing, I would like to thank the mayor, council members, and the business administrator for their support. Your partnership ensures that we continue to lead as one of the nation's finest public safety departments. I also want to thank the officers in my department who work tirelessly to protect and provide outstanding service to our community. Thank you.
Thank you, Chief Forrester. I'm going to open it up to the council for questions for the chief. Seeing none, it's open to public for questions on this budget presentation. Mr. Finelli.
not your first rodeo.
My son told me, whatever you do, don't piss off the police chief. I'll try not to do that.
I appreciate it.
I'm outnumbered 4-1 tonight. Okay, I'm a keeper of numbers. And one of the numbers I look at didn't add up, so I'll throw that out. You list 228 employees, but when I add up what's there, it comes up to 233. So I'm just curious as to which one I got wrong.
Yeah, maybe I had to.
It might have been including some part-timers.
Huh?
It might have been including some part-timers.
Well, I added up the part-timers because there's 7, so that doesn't make the numbers anyway. Could you tell me which numbers are right?
Yeah, I can, you know what, I'll get back to you. I'll look up, I'll check with
Okay.
the system. Sometimes, what it is a lot of times people could retire, they leave. And this number I did probably get it from a month ago. Yeah.
It's off by 5.
Yeah,
My second question is certainly a big increase in numbers. Is that incoming calls?
Yes.
That 103,000, that's the calls that come in?
yeah,
So EMT, police, and everything else?
Yes,
It's not
fire.
necessarily what you respond to?
just all calls that came into the
Okay.
dispatch center.
And my last question was there any major events this past year, that required significant overtime?
Actually, no, I ran the numbers. There wasn't. We didn't have any large-scale events, luckily.
Okay. You're not pissed at me, are you?
No, not at all.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Finelli. Are there any other questions from the public? Mr. Mariano?
Bob Mariano. So we are, we saved over $2 million as far as expenditure from the last year's budget, is what you said?
For the past 2 years.
Past 2 years. So we're on like a 2% increase again, more or less, for this year, for the budget, or no?
It's 2.55 is the number that I have. 2%, 2.5%.
All right.
We just want to double check. My numbers aren't so good tonight.
Right.
Operating budget's going from 315 to 330. That's the operating budget.
So, as far as Bricktown going, I see a lot of more calls, like you're saying, a lot more incidents happening, especially accidents on Brick Boulevard and stuff like that. Would it be better if we had more patrolmen on the road to kind of add into our, into the employees for the patrolmen at this time, or not?
Oh, yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah,
Right.
more officers that we have, the more help, the better.
Right. So what about plate readers? How many do we have? 2? 1?
We have quite a few.
Oh, we do?
Yeah, on our vehicles and throughout the town.
Okay. So, on the budget that he's 2.55, I'm just thinking, if we had more patrolmen on the road, as far as this goes, our town's getting bigger and bigger and bigger. We're starting to get more and more problems, more and more riffraff in the town. So these guys are out on the road doing their job, but there's not enough of them sometimes that, everybody goes on a call and then we have an accident somewhere. It's just that I feel there's not enough patrolmen on the road. I'm thinking that we maybe should get a few more officers on the road, not many, but just a few.
I would say that we're adequately staffed, but it obviously can't hurt to have more officers.
Right.
I would agree with you there.
And Bob, not to take away from your point, but I don't know that our town is getting bigger and bigger. I don't think we've had a population
No,
increase.
there's not a population, but the problem is we're starting to get a lot more incidents of, drugs and stuff like that coming into Bricktown. It's just, if we had more guys on there, more detectives, I guess, watching over, trying to help these guys. Maybe some of the equipment you guys could do, like, the guns and stuff, upgrade them for them, you know, help them out as far as with the red dot sights, so these guys, you know, feel more protected and they're more accurate and stuff like that. I'm just trying to help these guys because I feel the Brick Police need a lot more than what we give them. Not that I have anybody in the family on the police force or nothing, but a lot of guys I coached in sports and stuff, and they're kind of like needing a little bit more too.
I would always say that the mayor and the council and business administrative have always been very supportive of the police department.
Right.
As far as resources, they've always accommodated anything that we've asked or requested. They've never denied
Right.
us those things. So as far as that, I definitely wouldn't say that our resources, we have we have very good resources in the town, but
I'm just trying to
yeah, as far
slow
as,
down
yeah.
as far as accidents go and stuff like that. Put a couple more guys on maybe, you know, and have them patrol, especially Route 70 over there. It's every other day you're getting somebody that's crashing, you know, it's just more and more and more, you know, so I'm just trying to put a word in.
Appreciate the comments.
Yeah, thank you, I appreciate it.
Are there any other questions from public? Seeing none, close public. Thank you very much, Chief Forrest.
Thank you.
The next presentation we'll have is on overall administration, presented by our Business Administrator, Joanne Bergen.
Locked them in. On behalf of all the department and division heads represented in this report, thanks to our mayor and members of the Township Council for your ongoing support. I will go through the division budgets that are included under administration. There are 12 budgets and hundreds of line items, so thanks for your patience. I'll start with administration, which includes 4 full-time employees. We're also the front line for all in-person and telephone inquiries that come to the township. We also track and ensure follow-up on all email inquiries that come through the website. Staff also handled 16,981 phone calls in 2024. Public relations, marketing, and special events are also handled by administration, including monitoring and updating of the township's website and social media sites, including Facebook and Instagram, preparation and dissemination of press releases, and oversight of Brick Township's PEG channel, BTV. We have won several awards for our efforts to keep the public informed. Staff also manages the Buy and Brick program, which continues to grow and benefit our taxpayers. There was $640,000 Buy and Brick sales, which is dollars processed, in 2024. Resident tax savings in that same year was $35,046 with 58 participating businesses. Administration also manages constituent relations and publications such as advertisement, promotional materials, event flyers, and any other publications as needed. Administration manages the design and creation of our recreation brochure and senior booklet, reducing the overall cost by bringing this work in-house. Our public information officer sends out weekly email newsletters and designs the annual print newsletter that is mailed to every home in Brick Township. Administration also provides support to municipal boards and commissions. Next areas I'll discuss are mayor's office and council. The office of the mayor includes our mayor, 1 full-time staff member, and a part-time secretary. Mayor Crate is full-time. She maintains office hours throughout the day and into the evening each week. Her active schedule includes regular meetings with groups and organizations within town, and she hosts many initiatives to engage the public, such as the very popular Mayor's Minutes and Crate Conversations. The Mayor's Student Advisory Committee continues to engage young adults in activities, and through the Brick Township Teen Center, a place for teens to connect with peers and mentors in a safe, positive environment. We are excited to announce the re-grand opening of the Teen Center on Tuesday, April 15th at 6 p.m. All are welcome. Through the Student Advisory Committee, staff also plans special events, including the Longest Table, Hero Awards, Senior Prom, Brick Birthday Party, and we also coordinate the Traders Cove Concert Series. In addition, there are numerous Teen Center special events throughout the school year, including milkshakes with the mayor, a Pie Day celebration, and work with the Township PBA on wrapping gifts as part of the Toys for Tots program. The mayor readily accepts all invitations to speak at adult communities, social service organizations, schools, businesses, and wherever else she is invited. She promotes the town's interests and advocates for our needs at the state and federal level. The mayor's office salary and wage budget remained flat. The operating budget decreased by 2.9% based on actual expenditures in 2024. In terms of the council's budget, the salary and wage budget remains flat. The operating budget for the council totals $1,675. The council budget includes items like conferences, flowers for special events, plaques, nameplates, letterhead, business cards, presentation folders, publications, and miscellaneous office supplies. Council office is comprised of 7 council members and a part-time secretary. The council meets twice monthly for their meetings, and in 2024, they adopted 450 resolutions and 14 ordinances. Council members are very active in strategic planning and have working subcommittees including business and finance, recreation, land use, public works, and public safety. They regularly attend and represent the township at a variety of community events and activities. The operating budget for the council totals $1,675, which is down 1% from last year. Council budget includes items like conferences, flowers for special events, so on and so forth, as I previously mentioned. Next report is for our purchasing department. The Office of Purchasing and Contracting is a division within the Department of Administration and Finance. It's the responsibility of the Division of Purchasing and Contracting to conduct all purchasing, the acquisition of all goods and services, in accordance with the applicable laws of the state of New Jersey, more specifically NJSA 40A-11-1, the Local Public Contracts Law. In 2024, this office processed 4,345 purchase orders, 30 bids for goods and services, 23 professional services requests for proposals, 12 capital bid projects, 1 competitive contract, 18 purchases over the bid threshold, 8 national cooperative purchases, and 17 formal quotes. The above tasks were accomplished by an office staff of 3. The office also oversees the central receiving mailroom, which includes 1 additional staff member. He has processed approximately 51,000 pieces of mail, plus delivery of approximately 13,000 pieces of mail to the post office for bulk mail projects, such as tax delinquent notices. He delivers mails, packages, and supplies throughout the municipal complex and all off-site locations, and manages the central receiving and stockroom. Postage encompasses 92.95% of the operating budget. This line item includes postage for all departments and divisions outgoing mail, property tax bills, homestead benefit adjusted bills for the second quarter, estimated third quarter, final tax bills, and added omitted assessment tax bills. Delinquent tax notices mailed after each quarter, tax sale notices, post-tax year income statements mailed every January, Chapter 75 tax assessment notifications that are mailed every January, the township newsletter that's mailed to every resident in town, beach badges via registered mail when requested and paid for by the purchaser, certified and registered mail, regular, priority, and overnight postage. Additional line items in the operating budget is $3,500 for conferences and education. All staff members are certified in the area of public procurement through Rutgers Educational Program, and 1 is also certified through the state as a qualified purchasing agent. These certifications are required to be maintained through continuing education by attending conferences and seminars. The $1,245 budgeted for dues includes membership for Stafford Township Cooperative Pricing System, Governmental Purchasing Association of New Jersey, and the Southern Jersey chapter of the National Institute of Governmental Purchasing for every staff member, and 1 membership to the National Institute of Governmental Purchasing. Memberships in these associations also provide discounted prices for seminars and conferences, as well as a resource for bid specifications and pertinent purchasing information. Another line item is storeroom supplies at $2,500. This office purchases and stocks frequently requested office materials and supplies requested by all departments. Items are purchased off the state, county, and Stafford Township Cooperative Pricing System contracts. On a quarterly basis, the purchases are totaled and charged back to each department's budget. Human Resources is next. The HR department manages all township employees. There are currently 431 full-time and 165 part-time seasonal. During the summer months, they coordinate all hiring and employee management for the approximately 150 additional summertime employees. They create and institute HR policies and maintain compliance with state and federal laws. HR handles all employee training, including safety, the Employee Assistance Program, and other workplace trainings. All health benefits are handled by Human Resources. They coordinate with our brokers for contract proposals, renewals, rate changes, fee submission, and compliance with federal guidelines. They handle required reporting as well as resolving claims issues. HR staff process all liability claims with our insurance company. They ensure compliance with safety regulations and vendor insurance. HR reviews injuries, accidents, and incidents to evaluate for cause and act to prevent further occurrences. Highlights and accomplishments from 2024 include continued development of UKG, which is our payroll and HR system, creation and implementation of a hands-on driver training, continued medical claim oversight, instituting an annual training schedule plan, implemented annual emergency evacuation drills, and began individual orientation sessions for all full-time hires. Projects for 2025 include continued adjustments to UKG, Horizon oversight, specialized supervised training, updating employee policies, and completing biannual anti-harassment training. The next department for discussion is the Office of the Township Clerk. Clerk's office is comprised of 4 full-time and 1 part-time staff members. The Township Clerk and Assistant Township Clerk hold registered municipal clerk certifications. Every staff member is a notary public, and 2 are fluent in English and Spanish. This office also includes a secretary for the council. The Division of Archives also falls under the clerk. The Township's clerk's office issued almost 1,500 licenses, permits, and services in 2024, totaling $328,911.19, and 1,056 dog and cat licenses totaling $20,579. The Office of Vital Statistics, which includes all records of births, deaths, and marriages, issued over 4,000 certificates and 441 marriage applications totaling $48,280. Additionally, they collected $15,682 in tourism fees and processed 1,880 Oprah requests. Some other functions the staff performs but do not charge a fee for includes the 136 landlord registrations that were done, 2,717 do not knock registrations, and notarization of documents. In addition, they handled over 7,000 phone calls. The office organizes and works annual events such as elections and the rabies clinic. The Division of Archives, which manages and preserves township records, has a staff of 3 full-time employees, an archivist who holds state and federal records management certifications, and 2 clerks. A 3rd clerk is assigned to police records but is working on a large police scanning project. The Archives Division manages 1.2 million files in 26 databases. To date, they have scanned over 9.2 million pages of documents since 2006, including scanning work performed by an outside vendor. They also received authorization and destroyed 5,670 pounds of records and received 218 boxes from various departments. For 2025, they will continue with digital imaging as well as train and prepare for disaster recovery. The operating budget for the clerk's office, including archives, totals $31,200. Advertising, which is for all departments, and codification of the township code being the largest line items. Legislation is what drives those 2 line items. The council adopted a resolution urging state leaders to pass legislation that will authorize municipalities to publish legal notices on the government's official website, which, if passed, will save the township almost $10,000 annually. The archivist would like to take on another major backfiling imaging project this year at an estimated cost of $5,000. The project will include payroll records dating from the 1980s and prior, which would free up space on the compact storage unit. We do not have the resources to do this project in-house, and we have secured a contract with NJ Office Systems, who is on state contract. Brick Township has 55,960 registered voters in 57 election districts. The operating budget for elections is the printing and mailing of the sample ballots for the primary election, a service that is provided by the county clerk, but the township is billed for. This budget request is $12,000 for this election, which is the same as last year. There is not a salary line item associated with this budget. Next is code enforcement, property maintenance, rental inspections. Code enforcement, property maintenance, and rental inspections is provided by the Division of Inspections. The purpose of the township's property maintenance code is to protect the quality of life for our residents and ensure property owners provide safe housing when their units are rented. The code enforcement main number responded to 6,926 calls in 2024. Our code enforcement staff includes 3 full-time inspectors and 1 full-time staff member who handles all rental certificate inspections and re-inspections. 1 code enforcement officer works in Manaloking through a shared service agreement. The township is fully reimbursed for those costs. 1 code enforcement officer does investigation during weekend hours, and the code enforcement officers share evening shifts for light pollution and short-term rental complaints. The idea is for code enforcement to be accessible and available for weekend complaints, which, as you can imagine, occur frequently. Saturday code enforcement hours do not generate overtime. One of our inspectors has a flexible schedule that allows him to work on a Saturday. In 2024, code enforcement performed 3,272 inspections, including 1,030 rental inspections. Code enforcement also issued 807 rental certificates. In accordance with the new state law, code enforcement is also now performing visual inspections for lead paint in homes and rental units constructed on or before 1978. The inspectors also investigate properties based on complaints or spot checks of known problem properties. Based on their investigations, code enforcement officers issued 1,965 violation warnings in 2024. Of those violations, 238 resulted in summonses being issued, or approximately 12% of all violations issued. Summonses issued for rental violations, either renting without a rental certificate, overcrowding, or violating the short-term rental ordinance, account for 30% of all summonses. In the past, we utilized an outside company to register properties that were vacant or where a foreclosure action had been brought, whether vacant or not. The company had been providing the service for the township, no longer provides this service. This past year was our first full year tracking this information in-house. The township processed 173 registrations. The total fees collected was $98,600. The state now requires the township to collect proof of liability insurance from every business and many rental units. In BRIC, this state requirement is accomplished by requiring a mercantile license for all those required to show proof of insurance. The process started slowly as we needed to educate many businesses about the new state regulation. In 2024, we issued 429 mercantile licenses and collected $10,720. The Property Maintenance Board is an active body that meets every 6 or 8 weeks. Their work remains essential as the township works to ensure the property maintenance code is followed, both for safety reasons and the overall aesthetics of our neighborhoods. Our staff works diligently to prepare cases to be presented to the board, provide testimony, make factual findings, and then implement the board's orders. Individuals that respond to code enforcement violation or respond to orders of the municipal court judge generally are not summoned to appear before the Property Maintenance Board. It is primarily used when individuals have failed to respond to violation notices issued by code enforcement officers. The board heard 11 cases in 2024 and facilitated 1 demolition of an abandoned, dilapidated structure on Adair Drive. The state has now mandated that dwellings been built before 1978 that are rented for longer than 6 months must be inspected for lead hazards. BRIC would only need to conduct visual inspections. However, the law does have triggers that would require additional testing and or remediation. Properties are required to be registered with the state, like large apartment complexes, are exempt as they are already checked for lead by the state. We conducted 255 inspections in 2024. Next is our finance department, which consists of 5 full-time employees, 2 of whom are dedicated to payroll. The finance department creates and signs all purchase orders, 4,345 were created in 2024, and checks, 3,192 in claims and manuals were created in 2024. Creates the current, temporary, and adopted and capital fund budgets, posts budget at the beginning of the year and does all transfers and closeout procedures at year end, creating all pertinent resolutions to process all. Agrees receivable to tax reports, ties general ledger appropriations and reserves to budget reports, balances all interfunds and keeps a cash flow analysis monthly, and ties all cash receipts and disbursements in entry Excel books to posted reports. They send out the W-9s and the W-2s at year end. They keep a township fixed asset inventory that is added to or deleted from as needed. They create cancellation resolutions for grants. They create Chapter 159s as needed and enters all new grants into Edmunds. At this time, there are 71 open grants. They analyze money in the capital budget to keep track of when a band sale is needed and when needed to roll into bonds. Create supplemental debt statements, create cancellation resolutions when needed, inputs capital chargebacks, creates and signs all certificates of availability of funds, and enters all new capital ordinance into Edmunds. At this time, there are 39 open ordinances. Perform 42 bank reconciliations monthly, analyze 947 open escrow accounts, analyze 171 electric accounts, 59 water sewer accounts, 24 natural gas accounts, and 32 telecommunications accounts monthly. All aspects of payroll processing, they implement payroll into UKG, make changes to employees' files that will need to be reflected in salary and wage, such as increases, longevity, steps, etc., healthcare contributions, pensions, direct deposit information, court subpoena garnishments, etc. Township has kept its AA3 Moody's rating on all of its bond, which is long-term financing, and M1G1 on short-term financing. Next up is data processing. In 2024, the IT department worked on and completed the following projects. They replaced the sound system in the courtroom as well as the cameras and video recording system used for council meetings, installed 4 large presentation TVs in the courtroom in place of the projector, Installed security cameras in the 4 senior services buses. Installed additional cameras at Bayside Park, Beach 3, the EMS building on Lanes Mill Road, and the Aurora Senior Center. Installed VPN firewall appliances at the Parks Department and the EMS station on Lanes Mill Road for secure connections back to Town Hall. They replaced and deployed 57 computers, laptops, and tablets, 7 printers, 10 cell phones, and 60 new monitors and TVs. They migrated, bless you, the police office scheduling system to their online cloud-hosted solution. They blocked and filtered out over 800,000 malicious emails in 2024, keeping our network and computers safe from cybersecurity threats. They fielded 2,827 help desk tickets. 2,826 of those were mine. No, I'm kidding. For 2025, we plan to go live with the redesigned website, www.bricknj.gov, upgrade our 911 system, deploy new modules to the police Tyler systems, including emergency networking for patient care charting, Shield Force, and the Fire Prevention Mobile. Continued deployment of additional cameras at Civic Plaza, the Parks Department, Ocean Beach 1, Pinewood Park, Cedar Bridge Manor Park, Jump Point Sports Complex, and Town Hall. Installed 2 additional servers to expand storage and backup for the police body-worn cameras. Install and replace Hyper-V failover cluster server used by the police department. Install a new wide format scanner and archives. Replace, deploy over 50 new desktop computers and more than 50 laptops. Replace UPS battery backup systems in the IT department and phone room, which supply power to 90% of all servers and networking equipment. Begin running wire and setting up a network, PCs, phones, Wi-Fi, door access control, and security cameras for the new operations building behind Town Hall. Replace all of our Wi-Fi access points at Town Hall, DPW, and Civic Plaza. Data processing operating budget increased 3.5% as a direct result of costs associated with maintenance and support contracts for various equipment and software. The next report covers both tax collector and tax assessor. Tax collector's 2025 request is $56,570, which is an increase of $3,180 from the 2024 budget request. This increase is primarily due to the rising printing and supply costs. During 2024, the tax collector's office collected more than $279 million in payments through the office, more than $2.5 million in cash, $121 million in checks, and $155 million in electronic payments. In addition to regular collections, staff sent out nearly 9,600 delinquent notices, completed more than 3,700 senior tax freeze applications, handled more than 14,700 phone calls, and processed $304,000 in tax appeals. The tax assessor's office, with a staff of 5, oversees almost 32,000 residential, over 800 commercial, and over 1,100 exempt properties, with a total assessed value of over $11.3 billion. Last year, they placed more than $50 million of added assessment value on our tax list. Part of their responsibilities include not only maintaining a record of specifics about a property, but also monitoring all deed recordings to assure that any changes in ownership are made in our public record. Implementing tax map changes, variance reports for the planning board meetings, and defense of state and county tax appeals are also within the duties of the tax assessor's office. Brick Township has approximately 2,300 residents receiving senior citizen or veteran property tax deductions, which the assessor's office manages on behalf of the Division of Taxation on a yearly basis. The tax assessor's office also maintains the records, correspondence, approvals, and denials of over 100 exempt properties, in addition to almost 250 disabled veteran exemptions. Now on to Brick Senior Services. The Senior Service Office staff is staffed with 4 full-time outreach workers, 2 part-time employees, and 1 program director. Their main focus is providing advocacy, information, and assistance applying to various state benefits service programs. Staff conducts in-person evaluations in the office or at someone's home to determine eligibility for these social service programs. Full-time staff are certified state health insurance counselors providing counseling on Medicare issues. In 2024, we served 1,489 meals at a new second congregate site located at the Brick Housing Authority. Meals were supplied by Meals on Wheels, along with 3,200 meals at our senior center location. We are projecting 3,000 meals for 2025. In 2024, the center hosted a new Musical Connections program coordinated with Caregiver Volunteers of Central Jersey to bridge generational gaps through music. Staff also added a dancing feet class, which is taught by volunteers who instruct residents in all forms of ballroom dancing. The Senior Center's new dialysis program that began in 2024 has continued to expand. There is one dedicated bus driver and an attendant for those clients in need. We currently serve 14 clients that receive dialysis 3 days a week. Outreach services served a record number, 1,077 requests for assistance, as well as reoccurring assessments for almost 130 brick households receiving Meals on Wheels. The Senior Center was fortunate enough to receive $26,500 in donations from members to offset costs, and were awarded $170,500 in grant funding through the Ocean County Board of Chosen Freeholders to support our program. The last report is for the municipal court. The Brick Municipal Court is one of the largest of the 33 municipal courts in Ocean County. Annual filings for 2024 were 10,320, which is a decrease from 2023 of 554 filings. This number consists of filings not only from the Brick Police Department, but also the State Police, the Ocean County Prosecutor's Office, the Division of Fish and Wildlife, Department of Weights and Measures, the Marine Police, Animal Control, Code Enforcement, Zoning, Building, and private citizens for any incidents occurring within the jurisdiction of Brick Township. Court sessions are held every Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday at 9 and 11. Currently, the first and third Wednesday, the second and fourth Thursday, and the second Monday of each month are in-person court sessions. All other sessions are virtual via the Zoom platform. In addition, we hold an in-person mediation session on the second Tuesday of each month at 9 a.m. The second Monday, 9:30 a.m. court session is in person for code enforcement violations only. The current staff consists of the court administrator, 2 deputy court administrators, 4 additional full-time staff members, and 1 part-timer. $19,321 is being requested for our 2025 operating expense budget. This is a $1,844 decrease from last year. This concludes my report. Any members of the council or public that would like to go into more detail on these budgets are welcome to make an appointment with my office. Thank you all again for your support, and special thanks for the department and division heads who work so well serving the public.
Thank you very much, Ms. Bergen.
Ta-da.
I'm going to open it up to council for questions on the administration budget presentation. Seeing none, close council. I will open up to the public for questions on these presentations. Mr. Finelli.
You, I got no warning about.
What?
I didn't get any warning from my son about you.
Oh, well, that's because he doesn't know me.
You think? A couple of quick questions.
Sure.
Last year, your presentation was 7.5 pages. This time it's 9. Ooh. Are you getting paid by the page?
No.
Oh, if you were, I'd say you're worth it, but okay.
Oh, thank you.
You heard how many items decreased from last year.
All I know is 1.5 more pages. A question on, you said that the tax office helped fill out 3,700 senior freeze applications. Is that actually the application, or is that just proving that they paid their taxes?
No, so whether it's senior services or the tax collector's office, they help them fill out the application.
Okay. That requirement to prove that you paid your taxes is no longer a requirement.
Okay,
I don't know why, but also, if you do it again this year, that one application, as I mentioned last time, is going to be for all 3 programs.
good,
Right, senior freeze, anchor program,
Good.
and the stay in New Jersey.
good.
Mr.
Yeah,
Finelli?
you're right.
They actually have at the senior center walk-in Wednesdays for the seniors if they would need help filling everything in. All they have to do is give them a call or walk in, and the senior services have cleared their books on Wednesdays to help fill everything out.
As an old person, thank you. I can tell you that I did it myself, and it's relatively easy if you read the directions and you have your state income tax there. It tells you what line to go to put it in, so you can do it, but thank you for helping everybody. A lot of money on the table there, a lot of money. Okay, and my last real question. In your presentation, talking about the town council,
Okay,
you mentioned $1,675, which is on the whole budget and on sheet 12, but there's also an entry on the council for $57,050.
one might be salary and wage, that's salary and wage. 5750 is the salary and wage budget, the operating budget is the
Okay,
other.
so what is that for, a part-time secretary?
The council receives salaries, council receives stipends, and they also have a secretary.
I was not aware, I was aware that the council could take medical benefits, but I was not aware of a stipend. There is a stipend, and
It's-
when did that come into play?
It's
And how
been
much
here
is
the
it?
whole time I've been here. It wasn't newly introduced in the 11 years I've been here.
I can tell you it's been in place since at least 2000 and probably before that.
Huh, can you tell me what it is?
Council president is different from the council members. I honestly don't recall the amount.
Seems like it's $57,000 across all 7 people and the secretary.
Right, but the council president stipend is slightly higher than the rest.
Sorry, I
Yes.
mean in total
Yes,
for all
no,
of those
in
8
total,
individuals.
that's correct, yes.
I've never heard anything about a stipend. All I've ever heard is that council people can take medical benefits if they want it. So there is a stipend.
I would
But no-
imagine that it's been in every budget presentation for the last 11 years.
And I'll say
Oh,
that.
excuse me, probably for the last
just about
25
every
years.
Municipality that I'm aware of gives a stipend to council members.
And nobody wants to tell me what it is?
I think it's like 7,000 a year.
Okay. And that's in this line item? It's in the 57,000?
Yes, and actually, that would just be the council people because the council secretary is charged to the clerk's office.
Well, even though it says that the secretary's part-time, part of her time would not be budgeted to the council?
Yes, no, the part-time secretary is charged there, that's correct.
Okay. And if the council was taking medical benefits, would that also be in here? Would that be somewhere else?
No, this is just a salary,
Just the salary?
yeah.
Okay. Surprise, surprise. I can tell you, if I understood your comment, I've never seen in any budget presentation, and I've got the last 5 of them, any mention of stipends for the council. There's never been anything in the presentation, just like there's nothing in the presentation, this one. All it talks is about the $1,600. That was a very well-kept secret.
If I could just say.
I'm here almost every meeting. Nobody
Go
goes
ahead.
into the
Lynette would
budget
like
more
to
than
say
I
something.
do.
Vic, I do the budget presentation for the township clerk and the council every year, and I don't include any salary or wages for my department
Yeah,
or the
that's
council.
added when it gets to me. So
Yeah.
we talk about variations when we talk about this report. So we talk about what's changed and why. If something has stayed flat, which this budget has stayed flat, we generally don't mention, it's not always mentioned. We try to bring out highs and lows and what's changed so that we can track that. But there's hundreds and hundreds of line items. Do you want me to give the number for every single one?
No,
Okay.
that's why I ask
Okay.
questions.
Yes.
That's how I learn things.
Yes.
That's why I read this. I can tell you, I never heard it.
Okay.
Are there any other questions from the public? Seeing none, close public. Thank you, Ms. Bergen.
You're welcome.
Can now move on to the consent agenda.
All matters listed under item consent agenda will be enacted by the one motion in the form listed below. If discussion is desired on any item, this item will be removed from the consent agenda and will be considered separately.
Item 6.1.
Authorize acceptance of 2024 audit.
Councilwoman DeYoung.
Thank you. This resolution authorizes the acceptance of the 2024 audit. There were no findings in this audit, which reflects the hard work and acumen of our Chief Financial Officer and the Finance Department staff. Thank you.
Thank you. Item 6.2.
Authorize receipt of bids, collision repairs, and vehicle painting.
Vice President Menachino.
Thank you. This resolution authorizes the receipt of a bid for collision repairs and vehicle painting. The bid is not only used for accidents, but also for reconditioning the body of normal wear and tear. Thank you.
Thank you. 6.3.
Authorize rejection of bids and rebid purchase and delivery of various doors.
Councilman Feynman.
Thank you so much, Council President. This resolution authorizes the rejection of bids and the rebid for the purchase and delivery of various doors. Bid notices were provided to 8 prospective bidders from our bidders list, and 5 of which picked up bid packages. 2 were received, neither of which were acceptable. Therefore, we will rebid with the expectation that a qualified bidder will submit with all the necessary paperwork. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Item 6.4.
Authorize award of contract through Bergen County Cooperative Pricing System, renewal of large town enterprise license, Spatial Data Logic.
Vice President Menachino.
Thank you. This resolution authorizes the award of a contract to SHI International Somerset for a large town enterprise license for up to 100 users. The license is a program called Spatial Data Logic, known as SDL, which is used for the building department to log and track permits and code enforcement violations. Our inspectors and code enforcement officers use SDL while out in the field and automatically log updates and documentation so that we can get the paperwork started as soon as the inspection is complete. Thank you.
Thank you. Item 6.5.
Authorize award of contract through Stafford Township Cooperative Automotive Parts, Supplies, and Repairs for Vehicles.
Councilwoman Ponterero.
Thank you, Council President. This resolution authorizes an award of contract for automotive parts, supplies, and repairs for vehicles to 16 different vendors who are participating in the Stafford Township Cooperative Pricing System. Thank you.
Thank you. Item 6.6.
Authorize award of contract purchase and delivery of 50 DMR portable radios for Recreation Department.
Councilman Feynman.
Thank you, Council President. This resolution authorizes an award of contract to PMC Wireless of Hazlet in the amount of $98,883.32 for the purchase and delivery of 50 DMR portable radios for the Recreation, Beach, and Marina. This radio upgrade is needed as the current equipment is outdated and cannot be repaired. The project is funded in the 2025 capital budget. Thank you.
Thank you. Item 6.7.
Authorize award of contract Brick Township Senior Service Center site improvements.
Councilwoman DeYoung.
This resolution authorizes an award of contract to Earl Asphalt of Farmingdale in the amount of $440,213.13 for parking lot improvements at the Brick Township Senior Services site on Aurora Place. The project generally consists of parking lot reconstruction. Improvements include mill and overlay of parking stalls, full depth pavement restoration of access aisles, driveway entrance upgrades, enhanced accessibility to the senior center, striping, fencing, and utility improvements. Bid notices were provided to 79 prospective bidders from our bidders list and 10 requested bid packages. 6 bids were received, with Earl being the lowest responsible bidder.
Thank you. Item 6.8.
Authorize waiver of Section 110-5 of the Township Code allowing dogs at the farmer's market.
Councilman Albanese.
Thank you, Council President. This resolution allows dog owners to bring their canine companions with them to the farmer's market held each Saturday from May through September at Windward Beach Park. Dogs are allowed in township parks as long as they are leashed and their owners clean up after them as needed. However, the band shell area at Windward Beach is considered a beach area where dogs are not allowed. This will be the 3rd year that dogs are allowed.
Thank you. Moving on to item 6.9.
9A is a performance bond release for Block 100, lots 34 and 37. B is a performance bond release for Block 1308.02, lot 11.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. 6.10.
10A is 100% DAV widow of veteran deduction at Block 1429, Lot 1.
Thank you, Ms. Bergen. This ends the consent agenda. I will now look for a motion and a second on the consent agenda only.
Motion. Second.
Open to council for questions. Seeing none, close council. I'm going to open it up to the public for questions on these resolutions only. Seeing none, close public. Roll call, please.
Councilman Albanese.
Yes.
Councilwoman Ponterero.
Yes.
Councilwoman DeYoung.
Yes.
Councilman Feynman.
Yes.
Vice President Menachino.
Yes.
President Ambrosino.
Yes.
Thank you.
Item 11, bill resolution.
Be it resolved by the Township Council of the Township of Brick that the following bills be paid and that the mayor and clerk be and are hereby authorized to draw orders on the treasurer for the amounts of the same. Computer bill resolution in the amount of $14,522,807.16.
Thank you. Is there a motion and a second?
Motion.
Second.
Open to council for questions on the computer bill resolution. Seeing none, close council. Open to public for questions on the computer bill resolution only. Seeing none, close public. Roll call.
Councilman Albanese. Councilwoman Pontoriero.
Yes.
Councilwoman DeYoung.
Yes.
Councilman Feinman.
Yes.
Vice President Menachino.
Yes.
President Ambrosino.
Yes.
Thank you.
Item 612.
Be it resolved by the Township Council of the Township of Brick that the following bills be paid and that the mayor and clerk be and are hereby authorized to draw orders on the treasurer for the amounts of the same. Manual bill resolution in the amount of $2,029,492.41.
Thank you. Is there a motion and a second?
Motion.
Second.
Open to council for questions. Seeing none, close council. Open to public for questions on the manual bill resolution. Seeing none, close public. Roll call.
Councilman Albanese.
Yes.
Councilwoman Pontoriero.
Yes.
Councilwoman DeYoung.
Yes.
Councilman Feinman.
Yes.
Vice President Menachino.
Yes.
President Ambrosino.
Yes. Can move on to item number 7.
Bond ordinance providing for various improvements and acquisitions in and by the Township of Brick in the County of Ocean, State of New Jersey, appropriating $2,702,002 therefore, and authorizing the issuance of $2,566,912 in bonds or notes of the township to finance part of the cost thereof.
There's going to be 4 ordinances here for various lifespans. The explanation will cover all 4 of them, essentially. Councilwoman DeYoung.
Thank you. The 2025 capital budget totals $10 million. At the outset, the total request for capital funds exceeded $20 million, but the department heads worked hard to back into manageable numbers. Highlights of the 2025 capital budget include a refurbished ambulance and portable radios for EMS, replacement of the body-worn camera system that is nearing the end of its life cycle, ballistic shields, a patrol supervisor vehicle, solar-powered speed signs and portable light tower for the police department, consoles and renovation of dispatch center at the police department for our dispatchers, a bucket truck, and HVAC replacement at Civic Plaza for buildings and grounds, a sidearm garbage truck, a Ford F-250 with a plow for the Department of Public Works, new radios for recreation, beach and camp staff, a new jet ski for beach and tractor for moving boat trailers for Traders Cove Marina, resurfacing of the safety surface at Arrowhead Park, and a Toro Grandmaster mower for parks. Also, this is year 1 of the DPW site renovation, which has been discussed at the Public Works Committee. Permit plans were funded in 2024. This is a multi-year project that will be funded through a separate bond ordinance. The total for this year is $2.2 million. In this year, we will be replacing all fuel tanks, doing the site work, and designing the building. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilwoman DeYoung. Is there a motion and a second on this ordinance?
Motion.
Thank you. Open to council for questions. Seeing none, close council. Open to public for questions on this ordinance, the 5-year lifespan. Seeing none, close public. Roll call, please.
Councilman Albanese.
Yes.
Councilwoman Pontoriero.
Yes.
Councilwoman DeYoung.
Yes.
Councilman Feinman.
Yes.
Vice President Menachino.
Yes.
President Ambrosino.
Yes.
Thank you.
Item 7.2.
Bond ordinance providing for various capital improvements and acquisitions in and by the Township of Brick in the County of Ocean, State of New Jersey, appropriating $465,500 therefore, and authorizing the issuance of $442,225 in bonds or notes of the Township to finance part of the cost thereof.
Thank you. This supports the same capital budget previously explained. Is there a motion and a second from the council?
Motion.
Second.
Thank you. Open to council for questions. Seeing none, close council. Open to public. Seeing none, close public. Roll call, please.
Councilman Albanese.
Yes.
Councilwoman Pontoriero.
Yes.
Councilwoman DeYoung.
Yes.
Councilman Feinman.
Yes.
Vice President Menachino.
Yes.
President Ambrosino.
Yes. Item 7.3.
Bond ordinance providing for various capital improvements and acquisitions in and by the Township of Brick in the County of Ocean, State of New Jersey, appropriating $4,221,488 therefore, and authorizing the issuance of $4,010,413 in bonds or notes of the Township to finance part of the cost thereof.
Thank you. Same thing. 10-year lifespan. Is there a motion and a second?
Motion.
Second.
Open to council for questions. Seeing none, close council. Open to public for questions. Seeing none, close public. Roll call.
Councilman Albanese.
Yes.
Councilwoman Pontarero.
Yes.
Councilwoman DeYoung.
Yes.
Councilman Feinman.
Yes.
Vice President Menachino.
Yes.
President Ambrosino.
Yes. Item 7.4.
Bond ordinance providing for various capital improvements and acquisitions in and by the Township of Brick in the County of Ocean, State of New Jersey, appropriating $2,611,000, therefore, and authorizing the issuance of $2,480,450 in bonds or notes of the Township to finance part of the cost thereof.
Thank you. Same thing, 15-year life. Motion and second from the council.
Motion.
Open to council for questions. Seeing none, close council. Open to the public for questions on this ordinance. Seeing none, close public. Roll call.
Councilman Albanese.
Yes.
Councilwoman Pontarero.
Yes.
Councilwoman DeYoung.
Yes.
Councilman Feinman.
Yes.
Vice President Menachino.
Yes.
President Ambrosino.
Yes. All right, moving on to item 7.5.
An ordinance of the Township of Brick, County of Ocean, State of New Jersey, amending Chapter 145-6 of the Township Code to extend the storefront revitalization program and the waiver of fees for the construction to promote the renovation of existing vacant commercial structures.
Thank you. I'd like to open the floor or give the floor to Madam Mayor Crate.
Thank you. In July 2017 and again in 2019 and 2022, the council renewed an ordinance waiving fees for business owners who renovate an existing vacant commercial property. The program started in 2015 to encourage businesses to come to Brick and occupy vacant storefronts. In this ordinance, the township is encouraging any new businesses looking to fill any vacant commercial space under 5,000 square feet that has been vacant for at least a year to open for business. All township permit fees are waived to encourage the startup. The Business and Finance Committee has recommended renewing the ordinance which expired. The renewal extends the waiver through December 31st, 2025. In total, more than 30 new businesses have opened and taken advantage of this program. Businesses from bakeries to yoga studios and florists have opened in locations that were previously vacant. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Madam Mayor. Is there a motion and a second?
Motion.
Open to council for questions. Seeing none, open to the public for questions on this ordinance. Mr. Bacon.
Good evening. My name is Charlie Bacon, 366 Rancocas Drive. Good evening, Mayor, Council, and Administration. I do actually have a couple questions about this and a couple comments. As the Mayor pointed out, this ordinance has been around since 2025. And I kind of, I'm a business owner, and I know a lot of people that are business owners, and kind of look at fees as kind of like, that's part of doing business. That's a startup cost coming into a town. And most businesses look at coming into town, how long is it going to take us to get through the process of building? Some towns are easier, sometimes they're harder. And they look at that as an aspect. You look at demographics. I'm going to come into a town. If I have a business that's tailored more for seniors, then I'm going to look at a town like Brick, maybe over a few other towns. So the questions I had, and I actually had this back when I spoke in front of this body back in August of 23, was there's a comment in the ordinance that says we've determined that the waiver of the fee has successfully encouraged property owners. So when I hear the word encouraged, Mayor, you mentioned 30 businesses have come in. Did they come in solely because of this? Do we have that statistic? And how much of tax dollars are spent on this year over year? We've got 10 years now of this. So I feel that before this is approved, there should be some type of proof that somebody came into this town specifically because we waived a fee. And when I was looking at businesses, or my own business, going through multiple towns in Ocean and Monmouth County, the fee to come into the town for a building or a commercial fit out didn't enter my mind at all. So I'd like to know, out of those, what's the tax dollars that we've incurred over the 10 years, or at least in the last year? And do these 30 businesses, do we have some statistics that they came into the town specifically because you're going to waive a $500 or $1,000 fee. And if not, I would recommend, if we don't have those statistics, that we put a hold on this so that we can look at this and say, if it cost us $50,000 of taxpayer dollars, but we have no proof that it did X or Y or whatever, then I don't think we should approve this until we have that statistic. But just seeing we've determined, to me, I think a little bit more, statistical evidence of that. So that, I just want to make that comment. I feel if we don't have it, I respect you might not have it with you, then I would put a hold on this until we have that, to make that evaluation where we have some statistical evidence on that. Thank you very much. Have a
Thank
nice
you, Mr.
evening.
Bacon. You want to address that? Well, I'd like to say one thing, though. I think in all of these instances, prerequisite is that that storefront has remained vacant for quite some time. So to Mr. Bacon's specific question, I think a lot of these must have encouraged a business to be started when those individuals could have entered that facility at any point in the preceding 364 days as
Sure,
well.
the whole point of the creation of the ordinance was to address some of the vacant storefronts that we had in
Sure.
town. Everybody wants, all these box stores want to come in, they want to build their own footprint. Any kind of a chain has its own process that it does for construction. But we wanted, at the time, which back 10 years ago, the thought was, let's fill some of these vacant storefronts, because that was something we were hearing from the public. Well, why am I getting this new building down the street when there's all these vacant, storefronts? So the point was, fill them up and make it as easy as possible for small business owners, the moms and pops that are looking for a storefront, looking to move out of their offices, maybe at home or a shared place, into their own storefront. It's a dream many of them have, and we looked at it, and the feedback that we got from the store owners as they would come into the building department was that they specifically asked before they start the process, is this ordinance still in place? The feedback we've gotten from our zoning officer is that it's greatly appreciated and successful. For me, that was enough to recommend that the council consider renewing it.
Thank you. I appreciate that. And Mr. Bacon, I don't know that this makes a difference with the point that you've made, but to be specific, Ms. Bergen, this is not the taxpayer funding these, but rather a waiver of fees that we would normally collect for
Yes,
each of
it
these
doesn't
inspections.
change the dollar amount of the permit fee that would have to be issued. It's the application
Got it.
fee.
Thank you very much. Are there any questions from the council on Ms. Bergen's answer?
Have a quick comment?
Sure.
So, as a small business owner, I think this is just a great way to potentially bring in, bring in business. I doubt there's data that would support, 1,000%. I came here specifically for the $500 savings. It's like when you go out to your restaurant, are you there for the appetizer or are you there for the entree? You're there, enjoy the meal, right? That's all I wanted to say about that.
Thank you,
Thanks.
Councilman Feynman. Are there any other questions from public about this ordinance? Seeing none, close public. Roll call, please.
Councilman Albanese.
Yes.
Councilwoman Pontoriero.
Yes,
Councilwoman DeYoung.
Absolutely.
Councilman Feynman.
Yes.
Vice President Menachino.
Yes.
President Ambrosino.
I also vote yes.
Thank you.
Move on to Section 8, Item 8 on the agenda, public comments.
Please note that each person addressing the council during any section of the meeting during which public comment is permitted shall limit his or her remarks to 5 minutes pursuant to Brick Township Administrative Code, Section 2-33B.
Are there any questions? Mr. Saluka.
John Sluka, 950 Sylvia Court, Brick, after correcting my letter enough times. On April 6th, I wrote this letter that said, Dear Mayor Craig, Council President Derek Ambrosino, all councilmen, councilwomen, as well as the residents, workers, students of Brick, and basically all of Ocean County. The letter said, find a place in your home, your work area, restaurant, or school where you can view the Garden State Parkway for its dangers, its toxins, and its noise. The New Jersey Turnpike Authority created toxin, dangers, and noise with the expansion of the Garden State Parkway almost 13 years ago, and it's gotten increasingly worse over time. The pleas of the residents of Evergreen Woods condo area, Brick High School, Primrose Gardens, Certain Village, Lanes Mill, School, Greenbrier, Town Hall, Briar Mill, Birchwood Park, and other places in Brick and Ocean County pretty much fell when they went to Turnpike Authority on deaf ears. I didn't put it in here. The administration worked hard trying to get something in pretty much deaf ears most of the time for them also. But the New Jersey Turnpike Authority finally promised Evergreen Woods condos replacement of trees and brush that was destroyed over the past many years, but very little, if any, was done to alleviate the toxins forced upon the residents. The administration has been notified, but one did not see any results from their verbiage. When they start, if they start, it will take years to improve the lives of the Evergreen Woods residents. Toxins cause cancer, lung disease, heart disease, and early deaths. One must realize that air pollution is harmful to everyone, not just the people of Evergreen Woods. It has impacted people in Cherrywood, Brick High, Primrose Garden, Briar Mill, Sutton Village, Lanes Mill, Greenbrier, Town Hall, and other places. Ambient air pollution is a major environmental health problem affecting everyone in low and middle and high-income countries. And it occurs in all areas of the world, not just in here, United States. Fast walls and increased foliage are needed on the Garden State Parkway around those areas I've mentioned before, such as Evergreen Woods and Cherrywood and Lanes Mill School and Greenbrier. The time to act is now, not to delay the way the New Jersey Turnpike Authority always does. Remember that delay is a tactic, not a solution. Delaying remedies are just a way of denying productive actions to be taken. John Suka, 950 Sylvia Court. I also wrote a note because I was listening to the comments. Can we get for not each person, council, what the council pays, what the vice president of council pays, and what the president of council pays? And if the mayor is full-time now, what the mayor gets paid, basically for next time. There's no rush, but, I know way back when somebody told me it was like $6,500 and $8,000 for the vice president and $85,000. But that was 8 years ago when they told me that. And so I know it's been updated a little bit since. And I know it's been steady. Hasn't been steady?
Yeah.
It hasn't changed all those years?
Actually, in about what?
I wouldn't
12 or 13,
want
I
to.
don't think it's
I wouldn't
changed.
want to survive on that kind of salary. I know that. But again, it'd be nice to know what the number is. It's been that way. So it was like 8 years ago. Somebody told me the numbers, and I thought they were low then. So now they must really be low. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Sluka.
And
I
then
am
go back
sure
a
that it's
minute and a half.
public information
Yeah,
and that
you
we
got to
can
go
provide it
searching
to
all
you.
over the place. But it's nice if you.
And that
knows
we
it.
could provide it to
And
you,
everybody
yes.
knows it.
Any other comments from public? Mr. Madion.
Bob Maliano. Maybe the wrong place to do this, but Drum Point Road, somebody told me today they're gonna try to put up 60 townhouses development over there. And Drum Point Road right now is so congested. I'm just bringing this up so it's out there. The roads are so congested. They try to do it in Laurel with the light there, Cherry Quay area. It failed because the way they designed it was just terrible. Now they're trying to do it over there. Can't Bricktown have any free land that people could walk through like the woods, or do we have to develop every single inch of property in Brick? I'm just trying to find out.
I know that this is a passion project for you, Mayor Crate. Do you want to speak to the degree to which we are preserving land within the confines of our town?
Yeah, so we can't speak to the property that you're speaking of. That's actually in front of the Board of Adjustment
Right.
On the 10th. So if you want to speak about that, that's the proper forum for that. With regard to open space savings, we work very diligently to do that. I don't have the numbers in front of me right now, but the Brick Open Space Savers that was started by Mayor Ducey, that I've carried the torch continuous for him as well. We are actively seeking out and saving properties yearly. So we just, I think a couple of council meetings ago, approved another property off of Maple Avenue that we're saving that's 2.5 acres, I think. Yeah, so that is an active group. We meet monthly. We go over properties that are available. We consistently seek grants for Green Acres to save those properties, and we're talking about everything from the Bretton Woods property to, since I've been mayor, we're working on the Osborneville property, which is adjacent, it connects to Drum Point Sports Complex, as well as another property that's there, I can't remember the name of it, Westervelt property, it's also located there. That's a combination of about 5 acres probably. And we continue to search and get grants for those properties. And so I know it seems like every ounce is being built on.
Right.
But we are working as a group continuously to conserve and protect as much land as possible and work with the county to do so.
Okay. And back onto the trailer situation, are we making any leeway on that, or is
As soon
anything?
as we have something to report, I'll absolutely report that.
I
out
just
to you.
bring it up. you
Yeah,
know,
no, I know.
Just to, because we were told nothing's gonna happen and it happened, so I'm just following up on it.
Yep, once we have something from the committee, then that'll be reported out.
Okay.
Absolutely.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. Any other comments from the public? Seeing none, close public. Ms. Bergen.
Thank you. I just want to thank you for bearing through the long budget presentation and applaud the chief on his budget presentation. And I just wanted to mention one thing. Our park security team is back up and running as of April 1st. So the 3 park security officers will be at all our township parks in the afternoons, evenings, and weekends through October 31st, right after trunk or treat. They stop, so keep an eye out for their electric vehicles out patrolling and making sure everybody's behaving at our township parks all summer long. Thank you.
Thank you.
You have to keep an eye out because you don't hear them coming.
Madam Mayor.
Very sneaky. Yeah, just a few things I want to thank. I had a very busy last couple of weeks. I want to thank the Chamber of Commerce, who put on 2 career days, one at Brick Memorial and one at Brick Township High School. They were very successful. We had a great time. I get to present with other local groups like the MUA, our EMS, no, it wasn't our EMS, I'm sorry, our fire department, and the local library. It's a nice way to get out and talk to students about career opportunities for them to explore. And it was really a great time both at Township and at Memorial. So thank you for the Chamber of Commerce for putting those together. I want to congratulate all the Rudy Award winners. We had a chance to go to the final day of rec basketball last Saturday, and we congratulate all the Rudy Award winners for each of those teams that showed up. And I want to thank the Women's Club also for, if you drive by Town Hall, there are pinwheels and signage out front in honor of Child Abuse Awareness Month. Our Women's Club is very active here in Brick Township, and one of the things that they like to bring awareness of each year is Child Abuse Awareness Month, and we are happy to host them this year for the pinwheels. So if you drive by, that's what that is in memory of, and also, or recognition of, not memory of. And if you're interested in getting involved with the Women's Club, please check out their Facebook page and their website. They're growing every day, and they're welcoming of anyone who would like to join. So please check them out. Thank you to Brandy and the Mayor Student Advisory. My students for that group, we hosted a trivia night last week at Brick Memorial, and I want to thank the families that attended. It was Disney trivia. I did really poorly. I don't know a lot of Disney trivia. No, I'm not. I don't know. Yeah, but I didn't feel bad because I was teamed up with 2 other students, and they were just as bad as I was. So there were some ringers there that were really super duper Disney fans. So I don't think any of us stood a chance. But thank you to those families for coming out and supporting the Mayor's Student Advisory. It was a lot of fun. Brick Little League and Brick All-American had their opening days this weekend. Despite the rain, everyone came out and it was a great time. So congratulations to them on the beginning of their season. I want to thank the Elks for their Americanism Awards that I was able to attend this past Sunday. The students each read, from grades 4 through 8, their essays on patriotism and what it means to them in their community and in their country. They were really well done, and 2 of the finalists, or 2 of the award winners, are actually going beyond the states to the nationals, I believe. So it's very exciting. They're going to be judged in they're not flying out there, but their essays will be judged, I believe, somewhere in Kansas City, maybe. So congratulations to them. I feel like there's a winner in the group, so fingers crossed. We hope to hear from them some good news. I was very excited, and I apologize for my delay in appearance this evening, but I was very excited to attend the grand opening, the official grand opening of the Maniloking Road Playhouse today. I was joined by Assemblyman Kenitra, along with the Chamber of Commerce and Ocean County Tourism, and we were able to officially cut the ribbon on what I think is going to be one of the highlight businesses here in Brick Township. It is a beautiful theater. They are looking to not only run our Brick Children's Community Theater through there, but other theater workshops and different programs, and the space will eventually be available for rent, so that if you have a program you'd like to host, or if you want to show a movie, that theater space may be available for rental as well. It's a beautiful building. It's located on Maniloking Road, just about across the street from the Maniloking Ale House, so you can grab some dinner and then head to a show. But it's really beautiful. They did a fabulous job in refurbishing that building, and I'm really excited for them. Bless you, whoever just sneezed. Breck Softball is having their opening night this Friday at 5:45. Hopefully it doesn't rain. We'll keep our fingers crossed. That'll be at Drum Point Sports Complex if you'd like to come out and cheer the girls on. We have beach sweeps this Saturday, rain or shine, and that takes place at 9 a.m. at Beach 1, Beach 3, and I believe there will be someone also at Windward. If you'd like to do some beach sweeping, head on down. We will be there. I'll probably be at Beach 3. I think Councilwoman DeYoung's going to be at Beach 1, so you can meet us down there. It's always a good time. It feels good to get back on the beach after the whole winter. And then our next scheduled pickup brick is Saturday the 19th, the following Saturday at 10 a.m. at Riverwalk Refuge. That's located on Maniloking Road, just before you get to Venata Woods. So if you get to Venata Woods, you went too far if you're heading towards the ocean. And last but not least, I'm very excited to announce that after a very long time of searching and reworking and painting and remodeling, our Brick Township Teen Center will have its official grand reopening this Tuesday, or next Tuesday, coming up on April 15th at 6 p.m. We invite everyone to come out and join us. You can take a tour of the facility, see some of the programs we have offered. You can meet the new facilitator, Emily, who will be there as well, to meet some of our students. And we hope to have a successful grand opening and to continue having our teens be able to come out and use the facility throughout the school year. So looking forward to that. And are you guys done up there? What are you doing? What's happening? Okay, excellent. No, I'm just kidding. So thank you so much, and I hope to see some people out the next couple Saturdays and at the ribbon cutting for the Teen Center. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor Crate. Mr. Starkey.
I have nothing tonight, thank you.
Thank you. Madam Secretary.
Thank you.
Excuse me, Madam Clerk. Madam Secretary. Councilman Albanese.
Just want to thank Joanne Bergen and the chief on an excellent presentation. Happy Easter, and God bless.
Councilwoman Pontorero.
I just wanted to also thank Chief Forrester and our own Chief Bergen for their fabulous presentations. Thank you. Yes.
Thank you. Councilwoman DeYoung.
Of course, I want to thank the chief and Mrs. Bergen. I will see her tomorrow, so she answers all of my questions. I have a lot. And I just want to reiterate, at the Senior Center over on Aurora, they do have their walk-in Wednesdays for anybody who, any senior that has their Blue Book that need help or want just to make sure that they're doing it correctly for their senior freeze and their anchor and everything that, NJ Stay, everything that they put into one. That is every Wednesday, so it's really, please take advantage of it. The outreach staff there has cleared their schedules on Wednesdays so that they are available for you. And with that, I want to wish everybody a happy Passover and a happy Easter, and that's all I have this evening.
Thank you. Councilman Feynman.
Thank you, Council President. Excuse me. So this is obviously, budget time. We hear a lot of big picture stuff and high dollar things. But I want to highlight something that one of the resolutions I read about everyone's favorite topic, the doors. So when I researched this, what happened was the superintendent of public works, Stephen Krakowski, he rejected the bid because it was significantly higher from the previous contract in 2023. So I know it's a small dollar in comparison to other ventures, but all of these certainly add up. and we don't want any frivolous spending at any level. So it truly takes a village, or in this case, a town, of phenomenal employees and residents working both independently as well as together for the common goal of keeping our town affordable, safe, and fun for everyone. So I just wanted to highlight that. Thank you.
Thank you. Vice President Menachino.
Why do I always have to follow that? So I want to thank everybody, again, police for his budget, Ms. Bergen for her budget, and the library for coming out. And happy holidays, everybody. Thank you.
Thank you. And I'd also like to extend my gratitude for the budget presentations this evening. Chief Forrester has done a fantastic job. I think he knows that he's got the support and that we prioritize supporting our local police department here in Brick. And Ms. Bergen, I noted several times throughout your budget presentation and in analyzing your budget, the ability to continue to decrease particular items. It just underscores our focus on financial responsibility here in town. I'd also like to wish everybody a happy Easter coming up. And the last thing I'll say is that our next public meeting will be on Tuesday, April 22nd, so immediately after Easter at 7 p.m. I will now entertain a motion to adjourn. All in favor? Aye. Meeting adjourned. Thank you.